You know, I get asked a lot of questions, and I got to tell you, I love that because it means I have created a level of curiosity within a person. The questions I get asked come from every area of life. Yet, one of the most frequently asked questions that I'm asked is about my childhood. People will say, with all you've gone through in your childhood, like a real mother and then an adopted mother who didn't want you, being adopted, and then left on a street corner at the age of 16 and having to raise yourself. How did you make it? I don't think I could have ever done that. And people will look at me and say, "You are a true survivor." To which I will respond, "I'm not a survivor. I'm a fighter, a person who won't give up, who understood at the age of 16. There is a purpose, a lesson to everything that is brought to your life." My childhood, especially with my adopted mom, had a real effect on me. There were three things my adopted mom would say to me out throughout my 16 years of living with her. "You're the stupidest kid I've ever known." Now, if a parent told you that, how would you handle it? Or, "You'll never amount to anything in life." What would you do with that? And then, "I will be glad when you're no longer in my house. I don't want you here." What do you think that would do to you? For me, it became the driving force in my life. I'll be honest with you. My whole purpose was to prove her wrong. For that to happen, I had to have people in and around my life who believed in me and wouldn't allow me to slip into the dark side of life, which I could have easily done. And I had to have a foundation of belief, trust, and faith in myself. Now, I'll be honest with you, neither of these were easy. There were times I felt totally alone. And yes, wanted to give up and tell myself, this is too tough. I can't do this. It was at these moments God would bring someone to my life who offered me a hand and led me toward the light. You know, God promised He would never forsake us or give us more than we can handle. And I found those words to be true. I also knew I had to be strong within myself. So I became a student of learning about me. Yes, that was tough. But I learned I had to have a foundation for my life. I could use as pillars of strength when the old Richard would bring doubt to my life. If you haven't learned it, the old you, your old nature, is an enemy that wants you to stay trapped in the negatives of your life. The old you wants to trap you in the pain your life has been through. And I tell you, sometimes it's a real battle not to give in to the old you. I knew I needed the strength to resist the temptation of living from the negative messages of yesterday. Let me tell you something. I would hear my adopted mom talk to me over and over in my head and repeat those three statements to me. And it was a battle, it was a fight to not give in to them and believe them. Over time, I have met so many who can't see the greatness there is for their life because they're choosing to live from yesterday to today, not today to tomorrow. I can remember vividly telling God, I'm not strong enough to fight this battle on my own. I need your help. From that God conversation, I created 16 laws. Now, these are not principles, they're not thoughts, nor are they statements, but laws I live my life by. These laws are mine, not yours. Each of us needs to know the laws we will live our life by. Most don't have that foundation for their life. So when their life gets tough, or driven by fear, or they become afraid, they don't have the foundation they can go to. I want to share with you my 16 laws I live my life by that have taken me from a 16-year-old who was left on a street corner to whom I have become today. The author of 19 books, an individual who has traveled the world sharing light with thousands of people, a guide for people who are trapped in their circle of sameness and not experiencing the life God put them on this earth to have. My 16 laws are not life shattering, but laws I know will allow me to break free of the shackles that can hold me a prisoner in my life. 16 laws that I govern my life by. Let me share them with you. Law number one, I will live each day seeking God's will for my life. I didn't always know what my purpose was. And for a while, I struggled with me. But God brought a man into my life, and he became like a dad to me. And he would talk to me, he'd scold me. But I knew the purpose in his life was to keep me focused on living from today to tomorrow. Folks, it is so easy to slip back into yesterday and go to the filing cabinet of all your pain, all your hurt, everything that has had a negative effect on you, and give that control of your life. But you have another set of filing cabinets in your life. And these are the good, the great, the exceptional things that have happened to your life. And I know that God has a purpose for my life. And that purpose is to continue to seek his guidance, understand his will for my life. And I know that he is always there for me. So I start each day and I live each day seeking God's will for my life. I can't live this life and achieve what I want to achieve by myself. I'm not strong enough. And I know that God stands beside me. I know he guides me. I know he gives me strength. I know he brings me wisdom. And I will live each day seeking God's will for my life. My law number two, I won't spend my energy being a carbon copy when I'm the original. There was a time when I did not believe in me. I mean, how much do you think those three statements my adopted mom made to me, how much do you think they affected me? Hmm? You're the dumbest kid I've ever met. Hmm? You're not going to do anything with your life. I will be glad when you're no longer in my house. I don't want you here. What do you think that did to me? What about having self confidence? No way to have that. Not with those words hanging over your head. Believing in yourself. How could you? I mean, we know parents don't lie. So whatever my mother was saying to me, she must have meant it, and it must have been truth. And yet I didn't feel that way. I didn't think I was a loser. Man, I made grades in school. I, I knew that I could amount to something because I could feel the gifts that God had given my life, but yet they were buried way down deep underneath those words from my mom. And for a long time, I depended on other people to write the script for my life. I depended on other people to take my life and do with it what they want. And I tell you something, that's not living, that's existence. And I begin to learn about me. I begin to build beliefs about me. Hey, I begin to trust in me. And I realized I am an individual. I don't have to be what everybody else wants me to be. I don't have to be a carbon copy of others. I can learn about me. I can believe in me. I can have faith in me. And I can stand in the midst of a crowd and be an original. I don't have to follow the crowd everywhere they go. And I don't have to do that because of the belief, the trust, and the faith that I have in myself. I won't spend my life being a carbon copy when I'm an original. Number three, my crusade is to have a positive presence that is present when I'm not present. You know what? When you have that inner belief, trust, and faith in yourself, when you see yourself as an original, when you believe that God hasn't left you alone, but He's there, and if you allow Him, He will guide you, He will direct you, He'll show you His purpose for your life. And I want to have a positive presence. I live in a world where I'm surrounded by people every day. I live in a world where the books that I have written have had a major impact on people's lives. And I hear it all the time. Richard, you don't realize the impact you've had on lives of people you don't even know. And that's what I want. I want to have that positive presence that has a presence that is present when I'm not present. My law number 4, I will remember that anything I don't confront, I validate it. You know, I used to accept everything that people said as truth because they loved me. And then I awakened to the fact that sometimes what they called love was control. What they said for my life wasn't said for me to improve. It was said because they wanted to control my life. I didn't know anything then. I figured that if someone said they loved you, they really loved you. So what did I do? I was like the blind sheep following someone because I needed that attention. I needed that emotional feeling. I needed to feel valued. But then I realized something. This is my life. And if I give it to others, it's no longer my life. It's their life to take control of. And I become what they programmed me to become. And that's not what I wanted. So I learned that what I had to do was I had to be strong enough to confront those people who wanted to control my life. I had to have enough trust in myself to pull away and see myself as that original, not a person who gives in to the crowd, but a person who has that belief in their self. So I started confronting the scripts that people were handing me. I challenged them. And pretty soon, that challenge through my confrontation began to set me free. And the freer I became, the more of an original I became comfortable with being. Anything, anything in life you do not confront, you validate. And there are people who will manipulate you. There are people who will want to control you. And if you give them control of their life, they'll take it. And then the result will be they will create the you they want you to be. And in that process, you lose the originality of your life. You've got to have that belief in yourself. You've got to have that faith, that trust in yourself that says, this is my life. It's mine to design. And I will live a life because I am not willing to let others have control of my life. So I will confront because I know anything I don't confront, I validate. Law number 5, I don't do anything without giving myself permission to do it. And you know what? When I really put this law in practice in my life, I learned there's no one to blame for my life. It's my life. And it being my life, it means that anything I do because I give myself permission to do it. So there are no excuses. There are no justifications. There are no reasons that are real because what I do with my life is my choice. Oh, it's easy to slip into a world of excuses. It's easy to slip into a world of blame. It's easy to slip into a world filled with reasons as to why you aren't. But you got to get honest with yourself. And you have to admit to yourself, I don't do anything in my life without giving myself permission to do it. So, my law, I don't do anything with my life without giving myself permission to do it. That holds me strong and it makes me accountable. It makes me responsible for my life. My law number 6, I will manage the pace of my life and not allow it to manage me. You know what? I used to get into a hurry to get things done. I figured the sooner I got this done, the quicker I could get on to the next thing. But I soon understood if I didn't have the right pace and I was running through my life, I was just messing things up. With the right pace, you have clarity. With the right pace, you have calmness. With the right pace, it builds a confidence within you. And as long as I am managing my life then becomes what I want it to be. But if I allow my pace to manage me, I find that I'm constantly running into walls. I'm constantly looking around but not seeing what I need to see. I'm missing opportunities. I'm moving faster than I can understand. So what do? I keep tripping over my own feet. I keep getting in my own way. And I'm not allowing myself to have the life that I can have. You can't run away from life, but you can manage it. And you manage your life through the pace that you live. So every day, what do? I look at what I want to achieve, not what I want to do. I don't believe in to-do lists because I think to-do lists are emotionally driven and they're from your emotions up. I live by an achievement list where every day I look at what I want to achieve. I give myself a purpose for the day. I give myself an agenda. And then I commit myself, not just with words, but with conviction that this is what I'm going to achieve with this part of my life. And with that clearly defined purpose, with the agenda of behavior, and with my commitment that says, I will manage the pace of my life. And I will not allow my life to manage me because I'm in a hurry. In a hurry just creates conflict, confusion, and a mess that you're going to have to clean up. I will manage the pace of my life and not allow it to manage me. Law number 7. I will build my life on a foundation of belief, trust, and faith. You know what? I believe there are only two foundations you can stand on in life. One is doubt, worry, and uncertainty. The other is belief, trust, and faith. What happens when doubt controls your life? You question everything. What happens when you doubt yourself? You don't believe in you. What happens when you worry about everything? It's a sign you don't trust yourself. And when you put doubt and worry together, the overwhelming part is the uncertainty, which paralyzes you. So you can't have the faith. And you live your life standing on one of these two foundations: doubt, worry, and uncertainty are belief, trust, and faith. Now, I've stood on that foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty. I've questioned myself. That night when I was 16 and left on the street corner, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I went downtown to the hotel in downtown Ardmore, Oklahoma. I checked into the hotel. I went up to the room they gave me. I put the key in the door. I opened the door, walked in, dropped the little suitcase that had been handed me, walked across the room, and sat on that ledge, looking down, deciding, do I live or do I die? And the battle I fought on that ledge was the battle between doubt, worry, and uncertainty, and belief, trust, and faith. And I doubted whether my life was even worth living. I mean, my natural mother didn't want me. She gave me away. My adopted mother didn't want me, so she left me on a street corner. And so it must be my fault if these two people didn't want me. So what is there to live for? And that doubt was strong. But at the same time, there was this inner voice in me. And little did I understand at that moment that that was God talking to me. And God showing me, you got to believe in yourself. You can handle this. You got to trust that there's more to your life than what those three statements that your adopted mom made to you. And yeah, right now you feel uncertain, but you got to have the faith that says, I can walk through this valley. I can get to the other side. And then you know the other thought that came into me? If I chose to jump, my mother would win. And I guess I was just stubborn enough that I thought, I'm not going to let that lady have that victory in my life. So I came off that ledge after almost 3 hours of sitting there. And that showed me something. The more I believe in myself, the greater the life I can have. The more I trust me, the more opportunities I will see in front of me. And when I have the faith in me, I can turn the unknown into adventure. I can handle the moments of uncertainty because I know that my belief, my trust, and my faith are going to be challenged by doubt, worry, and uncertainty. Still challenge me today. I'm not superhuman. But when doubt comes, I handle it with my belief. When worry overwhelms me, I come back to trusting myself, and that gives me the faith to handle the uncertainty in my life. And so my law is simple. I will build my life on a foundation of belief, trust, and faith. Where do you think your life is right now? Are you stronger in your belief, trust, and faith? Or are you struggling with doubt, worry, and uncertainty to have the life that God wants you to have? You have to come to the place where you believe in yourself. You trust yourself. You have faith in you. And is it always going to be easy to have those three? No. But you realize, because I realize this, I'm never alone. God promised me he wouldn't give me more than I could handle. Has he given me some tough times? Absolutely. But because of my foundation of belief, trust, and faith, I can look up rather than allowing doubt, worry, and uncertainty to pull me down. I will build my life on a foundation of belief, trust, and faith. My law number 8, I will work every day to become exceptional in my life. You know what I found over the years? Most people choose to be average. You know, life is a classroom, and the teacher that is in front of you is a teacher of experience, the teacher of events, the teacher that is there to help you to be able to see from today to tomorrow and to realize that the terrain of your life is always changing and there's more for you, but you won't find it. You won't experience it if you drop out of class. So many people live with the attitude, it's good enough. My life is never good enough. Why? Because I always believe there's more for me. There's something in front of me yet for me to discover. So I stand in today, which is all that I have, and I look toward tomorrow. I look through my dreams. I look through my beliefs. I look through my trust. I look through the faith that I have in myself that this is not it. There's still there's still something else out there for me, and I am going to find that because I sit in a classroom every day. Some days I sit in that classroom as a student. Other days I'm in that classroom as a teacher. But I must never forget, I can't lead another person past the point where I am. So that classroom, my life as a student, has to be a part of every day of my life. I have to look for the lessons. I have to be willing to accept the lessons. I have to implement the lessons, even if it means I've got to change my life because the purpose of change is improvement. And I don't want to be average. I don't even want to be good or great. I want to be exceptional. And do you understand what exceptional is? It's you and I stepping beyond where other people have stopped in their life. It's having that dream, that coloring book. It's having that big box of crayons where every day you pull out the crayon and you color your life with positiveness. Every day you look on how to strengthen yourself. Every day you step forward because you want to discover that more for your life. I haven't achieved everything I want to achieve yet. I have 5 more books I want to write. There are things that I am doing and planning and working toward being able to improve my life so that I can have that great positive presence that is present when I'm not present. How would you classify yourself? Are you poor, average, good, great? Or are you really struggling trying to figure out whom you are, where you are, and what you're doing with your life? I'm going to work every day to become exceptional with my life. My law number 9: I will be both a student and a teacher. Why? Because life gives us experiences. Now, we get to choose what we do with those experiences. Why? Because we don't do anything with our life without giving ourselves permission to do it. And, and and if you really believe in yourself, you're wanting to reach forward. If you trust yourself, you don't see decisions as a risk. You see them as an opportunity. If you have faith in yourself, you understand that sometimes the door is there. And you may not know what's down the road if you open that door, but you have that belief and that trust. And you're willing to step through that door. And you're willing to what? Have the belief, the trust, and the faith in yourself that God is directing your life. And there is a purpose, there is a direction, there's a desire within you to find that more for your life. Every day, I'm going to look for the classroom that I'm in. I'm going to find the reason I'm in that classroom. I'm going to take the lesson that life gives me and I'm going to implement it into my life. So what? I can become a teacher to others who are also in that classroom. And maybe the reason we're together is because there is a connection that allows each of us to share the experiences that we've had in our life. My law number 10: I will believe that someone is going to need me today. This is one of the things that drives my life. I believe that every day someone is going to need me. Now, honest with you, some days of my life, it's me that needs me. Sometimes I can get out of sync with myself. I can allow doubt, worry, and uncertainty to creep into my life. And on those days, I need me. I need to get back in sync with myself. I need to stand firm in my belief, my trust, and my faith that I have in myself. Because again, I can't bring to others what I don't have within myself. And when I walk out the door into my daily life, I want to be ready. I want to be prepared. I want to be mentally strong. I want to be emotionally controlled. And I physically want to be ready to have the energy to create that positive presence in the life of that person who touches my life. I don't ever know who it's going to be, but there are days, and it's almost every single day of my life, that because my pace is manageable, because I have that belief in myself, and because I'm willing to be a student in order to be a teacher, that person will find me. And it's interesting. I've had people who have knocked on my door to my house. And before you knew it, we were having a discussion about their life. I've had people on an airplane as I'm flying across the world sit beside me and all of a sudden start talking to me. And I realized this is the person who needed me today. But if I wasn't prepared, I wouldn't be ready for him. Every day, people who come through your life leave part of their presence with you. Now, do you allow negative people to leave that presence? Or do you look for the teachers who are there to offer you a hand to make sure that your life is designed to live from today to tomorrow, not yesterday to today? I will believe, and I do believe, that someone is going to need me today. My law number 11: I will live from my mind down, not my emotions up. And do you realize these are the two directions that we have for our life? I'm either going to live from my mind down, where I'm going to build that belief, that trust, that faith, because I'm growing, because I'm seeking, because I want to find that more. And I want to be able to understand what that more is going to bring to my life, because I can become exceptional as I apply the lessons to my life. And I need those lessons. Why? Because the terrain of my life is always changing. Not every day is the same. There are going to be aspects of life that are going to come to you that you didn't expect. They're going to surprise you. And if you're living from your mind down, you will pause, you'll take a deep breath, and you'll look for the reason, the lesson, the experience, the growth, because I'm going to respond. But if I'm living from my emotions up, you know my plan for the day? My plan for the day is to doubt. It's to worry. It's to have that a life filled with uncertainty. And the emotions that I bring are emotions that are not going to build my positive presence. My positive presence is built when I'm living from my mind down. I'm out of sync. I'm out of control. When I'm doubting, filled with worry and uncertainty. The strength of my life is to live from my mind down, supporting by the emotions that strengthen my belief, my trust, and my faith. Because when I'm living from my emotions up, I've shut my mind out. I'm not listening to what life is saying to me. And the result of that is what? I keep tripping over myself. I mess my life up. And I'm stuck in a circle of sameness where every day I repeat yesterday. And in that, there is no growth. There's disappointment. There's anger. There's frustration. There's a lack of fulfillment. There's not knowing my purpose. And every day I'm just pulling myself down further and further. When I also have the opportunity to live from my mind down, where I can strengthen my belief, my trust, and my faith in myself. Do you think your life is driven more by your emotions or by your mind? Hmm? The answer to that is, do you spend more time reacting or responding? Do you spend more time confused than having clarity? See, I think there's one question you can ask yourself that will help you always live from your mind down. Before you say yes to anything, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this decision going to feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? Is this decision going to feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? Confusion is the byproduct of the entanglement of your emotions. Clarity is your mind clear to look at the situation, understand where it's coming from, and learn what you must do to turn any situation into growth. Now, you're always going to have some emotions, but when you're living mind down, you choose the emotions that support your strength, support your belief, your trust, and your faith in yourself. My law number 12, I will listen and not just hear. There is a difference, and it ties to my law number 11. When I'm listening, I'm living from my mind down. What I'm hearing from my emotions up. Your mind, when you're listening, sees with your eyes and with your ears. It creates the picture you need for understanding. And I think in all reality, you actually listen more with your eyes than you do your ears. Your ears listen to words. Ah, but your eyes listen to behavior. And the stronger you are at listening, the clearer and calmer your life becomes. I will listen and not just hear. My law number 13. I will know the power of yes and no and know how to use each. For a long time, I didn't understand this. I didn't understand that I had the right to say no because people around your life who want to own you, want to manipulate you, they're there. And they know how to turn you into a yes person, but you also have the power to say no. I learned that when I was able to say no, I broke the chains of a lot of people who wanted to manipulate me. I understood there's a time to say yes and a time to say no, and that no is okay. Because as I listened and I understood what they were saying, I understood their purpose, their agenda, and what they wanted from my life. And if it didn't mesh with what I wanted for my life, if it didn't strengthen my belief, my trust, and my faith in myself, then the answer was no. Life can be filled with distractions. Life can be filled with shiny objects. All around you, there are going to be times when you're going to have to make a choice. And you'll make a choice whether you believe you're making it or not. And that choice is that you're either going to go forward or you're going to trap yourself in that circle. I want to live from today to tomorrow. And to live from today to tomorrow, I know I have to strengthen myself. And one of the ways I need to strengthen myself is to know when yes is the right answer and when no is the right answer, and know when and where to use each. I will know the power of yes and no and know how to use them. Number 14, I will be accountable and responsible for my life. This is my life. I will choose what I do with it because this life is filled with my choices. Every day, I'm presented with things experiences, opportunities, situations that I have to make a choice about. And I have to understand I am accountable for every choice I make. Now, again, what does that do? It takes away excuses. It takes away reasons. It takes away justifications. And when it takes that away, it means what? That you are accountably responsible for your life. And you don't do anything in your life without giving yourself permission to do it. And if you give your life away, that's your choice, then you will live the life that comes with others controlling and manipulating your life. But if you live holding yourself responsibly accountable for your life, then you will live a life that will allow you to continue to move forward and find the more for your life. You won't trap yourself. You don't do anything with your life without giving yourself permission to do it. Law 15. I will live from the inside out. This is a tough law, and it's one that took me a long time to realize it. I will either live from the outside in, where I give the world control of my life, where I give others the right to write the script for my life. And that outside world is driven by your old you, your own nature. And that old you and the new you fight every day for control of your life. And the reality is, on every day of your life, one of the two, the old you or the new you, will control your life. They'll win the battle for that day of your life. And if they live it long enough, what happens? If you live long enough from the outside in, controlled by the old you, you'll lose your belief, your trust in your faith in yourself, and you'll succumb to a life of worry, doubt, and uncertainty. But from the inside, where every day I'm getting to know me, I learn something about me every day of my life. I understand things about me. And the greater my understanding of me, the greater my ability to live from today to tomorrow. And as I'm living from today to tomorrow, what am I doing? That belief, trust in my and faith in myself allows me to have a shield against the old Richard who wants to attack, who wants to control, and the new Richard that wants growth for my life, that wants me to find that more, that every day wants me to walk into a world where I can have that positive presence that has a presence when I'm not present. It's challenging because our world is not designed to live inside out. Our world is designed to live outside in. Look at the negative that goes on around us. Listen to people and how many people talk from a negative attitude. Listen and understand how many people are being manipulated in some form or some way because they don't understand. They're not here to be a carbon copy. They're here to be the original, the God made them to be. But they have to have the right foundation. I choose to live from the inside out, where it is my life. Now, does that bring certain things to you? Yeah. And it's what makes people afraid sometimes because the more you live from the inside out, the fewer people you're going to have in your life. Are there some things that go with living a life from the inside out? Yeah. Understand this. The more you want to do with your life, the more growth there is in your life, the fewer people you're going to have in your life. Because the majority of people want you to live in a circle of sameness. They want you to stay the same. You ever had someone look at you because of what was happening in your life and tell you, I don't know you anymore. Who are you? It's because as you grow, people don't understand you. As you grow, you must be willing to let go of the people who want you to stay the same. But I know what I want for my life. I don't want to be trapped in a circle of sameness. I don't want to live being manipulated and controlled by other people because there I can't become what I want to become with my life. So I'm going to work every day to live from the inside out. And then law number 16, I will live by these three words: behavior never lies. Do you understand this? The real truth in life is not what you say, it's what you do. Words are words. Behavior is the truth. You ever been around people who tell you one thing with words, and then when you look at their behavior, it's the exact opposite? The essence of truth is not what you say, it's what you do. And when they're not meshing together, you become a living contradiction. You ever had a time in your life when you told people things you knew you weren't going to do? And then they looked at you and they saw the contradiction between your words and your behavior. I think the real definition of truth is not words, but behavior. And I will understand this at the depths of my soul. Behavior never lies. And what that does to me is it ties all of these other 15 laws together because they can be words or they can be truth. But if I understand that and understand with every law that I have, it's going to be defined, it's going to be demonstrated. And that law is going to be defined, it's going to be demonstrated with my behavior. So as I talk about believing in myself, my behavior must demonstrate that. As I talk about trusting in me, my behavior has to demonstrate that. As I talk about being a person of faith, my behavior must demonstrate that. So let me ask you a question. Your behavior, is it strengthened by your words? Hmm? Are you a contradiction? Do you say things that you know you don't mean? Hmm? Do you think people notice when you're a contradiction? The truth to your life is not your words, it's your behavior. So when you look at your life, where you are right now, and you know there are only two foundations you can stand on: belief, trust, and faith. Are doubt, worry, and uncertainty. Which one do you think you stand on the most? Hmm? What does your life say about you? Do you know what your purpose is? Do you understand what you really want for your life? Do you understand why you want that? And with everything, that you want for your life, there's a price tag. So are you committed to not just talk about your dream, but to demonstrate that that's the dream you want for your life with your behavior? So many people talk about a dream, but their behavior will never let them achieve it. So their dream is not a dream, it's a fantasy. Are you simply words? Or do you actually have a foundation of belief, trust, and faith that guides your life? You do have a purpose for your life. And if you want to know what it is, look at your behavior. If you want to know what you believe about you, look at your behavior. If you want to know whether you trust yourself or not, look at your behavior. And if you want to know whether you have faith or not, look at your behavior. Mhm. There are two books that I've written that I'd like to suggest to you. One is entitled, I Need a Life. And the other is Behavior Never Lies. Go to my website, click on the store, and scroll down till you see the books. And there you'll see I Need a Life, and you'll see Behavior Never Lies. If you want to strengthen the foundation of your life, if you want to really learn how to believe, trust, and have faith in yourself, these will help you. richardflint.com, click on the store, and then scroll down to the books. I want you to have more for your life. I want you to have that deep presence within you, positive presence, that every day when you walk into your world, you go with a positive presence that is present when you're not present. I want you to believe, trust, and have faith in yourself so that every day you are a demonstration of the fact that you're not a carbon copy, you're an original. And that God really does have a purpose for your life. But you can't find it if you're living in doubt, worry, and uncertainty. Because the old you will make sure you stay in the circle of sameness. But if you want that more, then strengthen every day the belief, the trust, and the faith you have in yourself. And if there's any way I can help you, reach out to me, richard@richardflint.com. And let's see if I might be that one person that God has brought to your life that can help you to live from today to tomorrow and let go of yesterday to today. Richard@richardflint.com.